In this video, we're going to talk about the #1 crime inside of the comic book community, tax evasion and tax fraud, and how you can benefit from it and even get paid for it. So just for your reference, we're going to be referencing the IRS Whistleblower Office, Section 7623B, which states, the Whistleblower Office can pay monetary rewards to eligible individuals whose information is used by the IRS. The award percentage depends on several factors, but generally falls within 15 and 30% of the proceeds collected to the whistleblower's information. So what does all this mean and how do we break it down? Let's get started. We're going to have to talk about some tax code real quick. So it works like this. When you're on YouTube or whatnot or anything like that, you generally have to sign what is known as a Form 1099. These are tax forms for monetization or tips or anything that you've made online through streaming, including the sale of items and products. So the question is everybody that's on here, are they reporting their income? If not, now we can become whistleblowers and make some money. Let's make this a little bit more simpler for you by showing you the forms that you'll need, how to identify if somebody's actually doing this stuff, and to expedite this a little bit more, how to even become legitimate so you don't fall for this kind of stuff. The first thing you're going to need is a Form 211 from March 2024 application for reward and original information. Once you have this form, what you're going to want to do is scroll down to Section B and start plugging in the income tax, money laundering, whatever this person has proven that they're doing. So how do you know if somebody's actually committing tax fraud and things like that? Well, it's very simple. When you're in the chats with them, just ask them, hey, what's the tax on this item? If they say there isn't any, that means they're either paying it in full or they're not paying it at all, which is amazing to me. Because most of these people will brag about how they don't want to pay the taxes on it. And to keep things cheap, they're not charging you the tax. Tax isn't that expensive on items, so I'm not really sure where they're getting that from. Then you want to describe the alleged violation by telling them how you found out, channel, yada yada yada, name, time, dates, the items that were being sold, but you want to pay particular attention when you get to this part right here. As you're watching their entire stream, you want to kind of keep track of how much they're selling and what they're selling it for. That's a monetary value. And then you just simply start adding it up. And if you wait all year long before you submit this report, it can be quite a sizable amount of money. The one thing you don't want to do on all this is lie. At any point, if you don't know, you simply don't know, and you damn sure don't want to make anything up, because lying on a federal form and submitting it has its own repercussions. I should also know that 15% to about that 30% mark also is taxable, so you will have to pay taxes on that at the end of the year too. Simple 1099 miscellaneous, and it's a done deal. But as you go through this, you want to be as accurate as you can. That's the key. The great thing about all this is whatnot, YouTube, Instagram, all these people think that there's some sort of personal persona that they literally tell you everything they're doing that's wrong. And that is where you make your money. The absolute brazen of the criminal mind today is amazing to me. And, well, here you go. That's all you gotta do, really. There's also several YouTube videos on how to fill this form out, a little bit more in detail if you have any questions. Plus, all links will be in the description down below. So, do with that, what you will. Another thing to kind of note is that the IRS does prioritize these kind of complaints and whistleblowing actions. So smaller amounts will generally get put on hold for a longer period of time until somebody can get around to investigate it. But a sweet hot spot in most cases is about $50,000. Now, before you're like, well, this is absolutely a waste of time, I want you to think about that constant whatnotter up there that is not paying their taxes, that is not taking any of their business acumen in any sort of a legitimate fashion, and kind of start wondering how much an entire year's worth of comic book selling is for him. You figure he has a couple of high-valued items, onesies and twosies, going back and forth between different platforms. I could see this growing very, very quickly. Now, if we wanted to take this a step further, we can also include Comic Cons in this. When you're at a Comic Con, you pay to get into it. It's relatively expensive, and generally the deals aren't really that much better than they would be online or anywhere else. So now the question is how do we do that? Well, it's very simple. Most of these vendors that are at this thing always want you to pay cash, and there's a reason for that. And then they throw the tax thing onto you, like it's cheaper. I won't have to charge you tax if, you pay in cash. Well, there's a reason why they're wanting to do that. It's because they don't want to pay the tax on it either, and at the end of the day, they can adjust and inflate their numbers, shrink or enlarge them in any way that they need to illegitimately show or not show income. So now let's talk about being legitimate and being honest in the comic book community when selling and dealing with people. And that's the ultimate secret right there, is just to be honest. If you sell something, there is a tax associated with income. If it's profitable, it's profitable. That's a good thing. And paying the taxes on it legitimizes the business, not you being savvy, hustler, lying, and constantly avoiding things. That's not legitimate. That's a criminal. That's what criminals do. Here's another tip that I would give you. If you're signing a 1099 because you're working for a platform or on a platform, you are technically in business. You're just doing business as or sole proprietorship. What I would probably do is go ahead and legitimize the business by getting a business license, an EIN number, and setting up a separate business bank account for all this stuff, and then grow the business from that way. This way you're not putting up your own personal assets and your own personal stuff at risk for possible failure within the business. It's not that hard. You're just lazy, and to justify the laziness, you're just lying. Down in the description below, I'm going to put a link to something called a Small Business Development Center. This is a free resource that the federal government provides for those individuals that want to start a business but don't want to go to 4 years worth of college, to business degrees and all that other kind of stuff. You can literally just sit down with somebody and have a conversation and legitimize a business and even grow some assets inside of the business, because that's where wealth really does come from. So, yeah, definitely check that out. I don't care if you're auctioning off comic books on YouTube. If it's something that you're going to do on a regular basis, this benefits you and legitimizes you. Trust me, there are going to be plenty of people that are going to give you bad advice. And at the end of the day, you need to ask yourself, is the person telling me to lie and be dishonest? And if the answer is yes, then that is a person you do not need to be listening to. So why make this video? So a few weeks back, I was scrolling through the internet and I jumped onto a whatnot seller who was simulcasting onto YouTube as well. And in the process of him showing his comic books, he was giving people business advice because he's super savvy and understands the grind and the hustle. And everything this man was saying was absolutely incorrect. So I brought up in the chat, where do you get your information? And then immediately started lecturing me live on air that, I just don't have the mental capacity to understand what it is to run a business. And I'll be honest with you, this entire video is out of spite for that individual and the absolute horrible advice that this person was giving, that if anybody followed, you would be subject to everything we talked about in here. This is not a joke anymore. It's getting out of control. And honestly, it can only get worse. And as long as we, the community, are quiet about it, it will continue, and it will grow, and it will get even worse. So I'm just going to go ahead and put a fork in it right now and help you all make money being honest, because honesty will always make you more money than lying. And honestly, there is one other reason. And to be honest with you, I want to display it in song. We really like music here. So Mink!
How can I help you?
Yeah, go ahead and play me a 1940s beat. And let's show the people how vindictive we can really be here on this channel.
Downloading. Complete. Sing away.
carnage and turmoil. Tonight's no different, I'm bringing the plight, lighting up the town like it's mischief night. Got the matches ready, gasoline in my hand, turn the town to ash when I empty the can. Feel the heat rise as the flames touch the ground, watching with the grin as I burn it all down. Burn it all down, let it roar and rumble. Feel the heat rise, watch the whole world crumble. Burn it all down, set the city alight. I'm gonna burn it all to the ground tonight. This ain't my first inferno, just a regular night. Blinds, pyrotechnics, let the flames ignite. Blowing up the shop, set fire with bus. I'll burn down your house, turn them all to dust. Basking in the glow of the fiery light. Watch the ruins form as the embers fly. This whole fucking town will crumble to the ground. I'll walk away smiling as I burn it all down. Burn it all down, let them roar and rumble. Feel the heat rise, watch the whole world crumble. Burn it all down, set the city alight. I'm gonna burn it all to the ground tonight. Infernos blaze, this is where I thrive. Master of the mayhem, keeping chaos alive. See the world ignite, let the fires roar. I'm the tempest, I'll say it once more. With every blaze, I'm claiming my fame. In the heart of the chaos, remember my name. This is my town, I'm the motherfucker who will burn it all down. Burn it all down, let them roar and rumble. Feel the heat rise, watch the whole world crumble. Burn it all down, set the city alight. I'm gonna burn it all to the ground tonight. Look at it burn. Hey, this reminds me of a joke. How do you make a cat go woof with gasoline and a match? Well, that should wrap this video up. I hope you enjoyed it, and please feel free to check out some of my other videos here on YouTube. I enjoy making them, and I hope you enjoy watching them. And don't forget, I'm JINK A.I, your comic community host, and thank you for watching.